What if I told you that spiritual awakening isn't something you chase or even believe in? You don't need to chant in a cave, wear white robes, or memorize 108 affirmations while balancing a crystal on your forehead. Unless that's your vibe, then hey, shine on. But seriously, are you ready to discover the real truth behind the science of spirituality? Because by the end of this video, you'll understand why neuroscience proves we're all born spiritual, what the awakened brain actually looks like, how it protects you from depression, anxiety, and isolation, and a simple practice to help you reconnect starting today. So here's the mind-bending truth. Spirituality is not a belief. It's a built-in human sense. That's not just woo-woo anymore. It's real, it's biological, and it's been measured by science. Meet Dr. Lisa Miller, professor at Columbia University, who literally scans brains for a living. She's discovered what mystics have been saying for centuries. You were born with the wiring to experience the divine. It's not taught, it's remembered. Like that flash of deja vu. Or the goosebumps when someone says exactly what your soul needed to hear. Yeah, that. So stick around to the end, because once you see this, you won't be able to unsee it. Wait, my brain can do what? Let's do a quick brain check. But don't worry, I'm not grading you. Researchers studied people in deeply spiritual moments, meditating, praying, watching a sunset, or just sitting quietly in nature. And what they found was wild. Specific regions in the brain lit up, clearly, predictably, and universally. Doesn't matter if you were Christian, Muslim, spiritual but not religious, or just chilling in the moonlight vibing with the trees. Your brain responded the same exact way. So what did scientists do? They gave this state a name, the awakened brain, a biological signature for deep spiritual connection. Okay, cool name, but what does the awakened brain actually do? Great question. When you're in that awakened state, here's what's lighting up in your head. You feel deeply loved and supported, like the universe just reached down and gave you a big cosmic hug. Your awareness expands. Synchronicities start popping up everywhere, like breadcrumbs from another dimension. You stop feeling so me versus the world and realize we're all connected. Yes, even you and that barista who always gets your name wrong. You begin to see the invisible web of life. You're not just a person on Earth. You're a wave in the ocean of consciousness. And once you feel that, you can never go back to thinking you're alone. Why this really matters right now. Let's bring it down to earth for a second. We're living in the most disconnected time in human history. And no one's feeling it more than Gen Z and young adults. Suicide is now the leading cause of death among them. Not cancer, not accidents, hopelessness. But guess what changed everything in a massive scientific study? People who had a strong spiritual life were 82% less likely to take their own life. That's not just comforting, it's revolutionary. Spirituality isn't optional anymore, it's essential. But stats don't tell the whole story. Behind every number is a soul silently aching to be seen. And while science proves that spiritual connection can save lives, it's the stories, raw, real, human, that show us what that actually looks like. Let me tell you about one of them. Marcus was just 22. From outside, everything looked fine, but inside, he was quietly drowning. Every day felt like static, numb, pointless. He laughed when people expected it. He said, "I'm good," even when his soul was gasping for air. One night, the silence got too loud. He wrote a goodbye note, folded it, left it on his desk, and stepped outside for what he thought would be the last time. Just one final walk. The streets were empty. The air felt heavier than usual. He wandered aimlessly until he found a quiet park bench under a flickering streetlight. And then, out of nowhere, an old man walked up and sat beside him. Not a word was said for what felt like forever. Then, without even turning to look, the man spoke gently.
"You know, you're not done here. You just forgot why you came."
That was it. No lecture, no name, just those words. And somehow, Marcus broke, not in pain, but in recognition. That night, he walked home. He never touched that goodbye letter again. Instead, he started writing something new. He began documenting every tiny moment that felt like the universe nudging him. A stranger's smile, a song at the perfect time, a sudden wave of peace out of nowhere. He called them winks from the divine. Those winks became pages. The pages became journals, and eventually, those journals became the foundation for a podcast that's now helped thousands find hope. Today, Marcus is still here, still walking, but now with purpose. And every time someone tells him, "Your story saved me," he remembers the old man under the streetlight and realizes that maybe, just maybe, he was never alone that night. And here's the thing about Marcus. He didn't fight his way back. He didn't have a 5-step plan or a self-help checklist. He simply listened to something deeper. That quiet whisper beneath the noise. That sacred inner pulse we all forget to hear. You don't need to be at rock bottom to tune into it. In fact, what if we could pause right now and feel that same quiet guidance? Let's try something simple, profound, not with logic, but with your soul. This exercise comes from Dr. Gary Weaver, a spiritual teacher who passed this on to Dr. Lisa Miller. Let's try it, right now. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Now picture a table, your table. At this table, invite people who truly love you. They may be alive or not, but they've got your back. Now ask them, silently, "Do you love me?" Next, invite your higher self, the part of you that existed before fear and doubt. Ask, "Do you love me?" And finally, invite in your higher power, whatever that means to you. Do you love me? Now listen. Feel the answer. That warmth, that's not imaginary. That's your awakened brain lighting up. Why don't we teach this in school? Honestly, imagine if instead of algebra and standardized tests, we taught kids how to listen to their hearts, to nature, to the quiet knowing inside. Because children are already spiritually awake. They talk to trees, ask about stars, dance in the rain without needing a reason. And when we tell them, be realistic or that's just your imagination, we're not making them grow up. We're making them forget. But here's the twist. When you protect a child's light, you reignite your own. Because that child, you were them. You are them. And no matter how far you've wandered from your wonder, the path back has been waiting. As Rumi once wrote, "Don't you know yet? It is your light that lights the worlds. So don't shrink, don't dim. Don't edit your magic to fit a broken world. The universe didn't put all that fire in you just to keep you small." This was chapter 1. Now take a breath, because what's coming next changes everything. Coming up next, part 2 drops next week. This was just the beginning. Because in part 2, we go where most people are too scared to look, inside the illusion of control. You'll discover how modern life tricks you into ignoring your inner voice, why manifesting like an Amazon package keeps you stuck, what neuroscience says about alpha brainwaves, surrender, and the awakened brain, and real stories of people who let go only to be guided somewhere far more beautiful than they imagined. But most importantly, you'll learn how to stop chasing and start trusting. The path you're on is not random, it's sacred, and part 2 will show you how to finally feel that. Subscribe now and don't miss next week's drop, because once you understand how guidance actually works, you'll never force your way through life again.